highlighting history of suburban Sydney with the St Peter's Cooks River History Group.
Our aim is to promote and preserve local history.
We are based at St Peter's in Sydney's inner west.
Rose Bay, where boats took off.
Rose Bay was named after the Right Honourable George Rose, Joint Secretary to the British Treasury.
The first land grant in the area was given to Captain John Piper in 1821. By the end of the 19th century, it was known as the Bereford Estate. In 1912, the land was sold to Mrs. Louisa Rebecca Muston, who constructed a block of flats on New South Head Road known as Rose Bay Flats. The building operated as a boarding house and apartments until 1961, when it became the Cranbrook International Hotel. The building was purchased in 2004 for the development of Beresford Hall, a luxury residential aged care facility.
Salisbury Court, also known as Rose Bay Lodge and Rose Bay Cottage, was built in 1834. It was marketed as Rose Bay Lodge Estate, which consisted of 33 allotments in 1911. The house on 4 allotments fronting Salisbury Road was to be sold separately. It was converted into Ritz Flats. In 1993, the building was restored using as much as possible the original materials in the house.
Tivoli was constructed as a colonial stone cottage in 1841. 40 years later, a second story was added. Today it is occupied by Kambala School, which began when Miss Louisa Gurney established a school at Fernbank in Woollahra. The school moved to a larger property in Bellevue Hill called Kambala, from which the school took its new name. In 1913, the school moved to its present site.
The Convent of the Sacred Heart was founded in 1882 when the Society of the Sacred Heart leased a house, Claremont. After purchasing the site, a convent school was completed in 1888. This was extended a number of times. The chapel, designed by John Horbury Hunt, was completed in 1900. The school amalgamated with Kincopel at Elizabeth Bay in 1971, becoming Kincopel Rose Bay School of the Sacred Heart.
In the late 19th century, Rose Bay was a popular leisure destination.
Frank Bennett, a newspaper magnate, built a large 2-storey sandstone mansion, Fernleigh Castle, in 1892. It incorporated the walls of an 1847 cottage.
Shortly before 1920, the castle was purchased by Mrs. E.M.C. Watt, wife of a New Zealand racehorse owner. During the 1920s, it was rented to famous opera singer Dame Nellie Melba. In 1951, the castle was sold. 6 acres of garden and lawns which surrounded the building were subdivided.
The building was left empty and vandalised. Bruce Jackson purchased it in 1954 and converted it into an hotel for the rich and famous. In 1966, the commercial banking company bought the building to be used as a staff training college.
Sydney Golf Club was founded in 1893 at Concord. It moved to Bondi, where the clubhouse was 2 rented rooms in a cottage which stood on Sewer Road, now Blair Street. A second clubhouse was built in 1897. At the official opening, it was announced that Her Majesty had agreed to the adding of the prefix Royal.
In 1903, the committee decided to buy land at Rose Bay. Tenders were called for draining the land, previously Chinese gardens. The new links opened in 1905.
Fire destroyed the clubhouse in 1920. 2 years later, a new clubhouse was completed. It was extensively renovated in 2003. Tennis, billiards and croquet have been played there since 1905. Bowls was introduced in 1929.
In 1898, an electric tram system was built to Rose Bay Pier. The service was extended as far as Dover Road in 1900 and to Watson's Bay Wharf by 1909.
Tidal sandflats were reclaimed in 1902 to form a 14-acre reserve named in honour of Sir William Lynn, the New South Wales Premier.
Swimming baths opened in 1904. They were demolished in 1942.
In 1905, 8 acres at the east end of Lynn Park were revoked for use as a recreation oval for the Navy. A flying boat base was established on this ground in 1938. The base was subsequently demolished and it was returned to parkland.
Ebenezer Vickery, a Sydney philanthropist, donated land and money for the construction of a Methodist church, which opened in 1905. The building was enlarged and the attached Wesley Hall built in 1924. It became Rose Bay Uniting Church in 1977. Services ceased in 2017. The former church has been transformed into a Levantine restaurant.
St Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Kent Street, Sydney, behind the current St Andrew's Cathedral, opened in 1835. As Sydney grew and the population moved to the suburbs, the church transferred to a site in Rose Bay. The cedar pews, stone font, memorial plaques and communion plate for the original church were installed in the new one, which opened in 1913.
The foundation stone of St Paul's Church School was laid in 1918. It was completed the following year. The foundation stone of a new church building was laid in 1927. The church closed in 1992.
St Mary Magdalene Roman Catholic Church was established in 1920. A tower was added in 1932. Later additions were made in 1938.
The Rose Bay Promenade was designed in 1924 to provide pedestrians and motorists with an opportunity to view Rose Bay and the harbour beyond. The low concrete seawall allowed motorists to look over it as they travelled along New South Head Road.
The Winter Garden Theatre opened in 1928. The following year it became the first Sydney suburban theatre to install sound equipment for the talkies. The cinema housed the Sydney Film Festival from 1968 till 1973. It closed in 1985. An apartment building now stands on the site.
Hotel Rose Bay, built in 1929 in interwar Art Deco style, has seen a number of changes.
In the 1930s, the gatehouse for Woollahra House was acquired and remodelled for police use.
The Woollahra Golf Club opened to the public in 1932. Woollahra Council obtained land from the neighbouring Royal Sydney Golf Club in 1953. This resulted in the opening of a new clubhouse.
The Rose Bay War Memorial was unveiled in 1935 in Lynn Park.
The Rose Bay North Kings Theatre opened in 1935 and closed in 1958. The building was bought by Mills and Mills and occupied by Boyce Brothers, a women's wear manufacturer. It was later a fruit and vegetable market. It became a Coles supermarket in 2006.
Rose Bay RSL Club, originally the Kent Memorial Club, met in Kent Hall, the refurbished sick bay of HMAS Tingara. In 1947, Monash Hut, built during World War II as a services canteen and located in Hyde Park, was acquired by the Kent Memorial Club and placed on site in Rose Bay. The club became Rose Bay RSL in 1951. The hall was demolished and new club facilities erected in 1959. The club closed in 2024. The following year, members of the club voted in favour of Merivale taking over its operation.
In 1937, despite local and state government opposition, it was decided that Rose Bay would become Australia's first international airport for flying boats.
The base included a large hangar on land with slipways and terminal facilities for boats and passengers. The official opening was in August 1938.
Flying boats were primarily designed to carry first-class mail. They soon evolved to carry passengers.
The first full service from Sydney to Southampton, with the Empire Flying Boat and Airmail Service Cooee, flew a first-class service with 30 stops between Sydney and London, creating the now famous Kangaroo route.
With the advent of World War II, services were suspended in 1942.
2 weeks after the war ended in 1945, 9 Catalina flying boats landed at Rose Bay, repatriating Australian prisoner of war survivors from Japanese camps.
Flights to London resumed the following year.
The demise of flying boats began with the arrival of jet airliners. In 1955, Qantas discontinued its flying boat service and sold their aircraft to Ansett Airways. Ansett flying boat services continued to operate flights to Lord Howe Island until 1974.
Today, Rose Bay Water Airport is a location of seaplane companies which offer scenic flights around Sydney Harbour and up to Palm Beach.
Catalina Restaurant is named after the flying boats that flew from Rose Bay.
3 midget Japanese submarines entered Sydney Harbour on the 31st of May 1942. One fired a torpedo which sank the HMAS Catabull.
On the 8th of June, the Japanese attacked Sydney suburbs. 10 shells came down in the suburbs of Rose Bay, Woollahra and Bellevue Hill. Shells exploded at 3 Plummer Road and 67 Balfour Road, Rose Bay. There was property damage and minor injuries, but no fatalities. Other shells were found unexploded. One was found near the pump house of Woollahra Golf Club.
Rose Bay Scout Hall was built in 1940 for the Rose Bay Scouts and Rose Bay Sea Scouts and, except for a brief period during World War II, has been used by the Scouts and other community groups since that time.
Woollahra Sailing Club was founded in 1953. 5 years later, it moved from a shed near the Rose Bay Police Station to take up occupancy in the old RAAF Officers' Canteen building of the Rose Bay Flying Boat Base. The current clubhouse was built in the 1980s. In recent years, it has been renovated and modernised.
Tingara Memorial Park was created as a monument to HMAS Tingara, which was moored in Rose Bay from 1912 to 1927. The ship, purchased by the Commonwealth Government, was refitted to accommodate 200 trainees. After decommissioning, it was located in Berries Bay, serving as a coal hulk, store ship, and for a time a hostel for destitute men. She was scuttled at sea in 1941.
The Greek Orthodox parish of St Paul Rose Bay became the Greek Orthodox parish of St George at Rose Bay. The foundation stone for a war memorial church was laid on St George's Day, the 23rd of April 1961. The building was dedicated the following year.
Rose Bay is a suburb known for views across the harbour, large areas of green space, waterfront mansions and 1950s apartment blocks.
If you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel, it's free. And check out our website, stpeterscooksriverhistory.wordpress.com. Visit us the first Saturday of every month from 1:30 to 4:30 at 187 Princess Highway, St Peters.